Hello, citizens of the verse. It's been a hot minute. Old man Johnny Morgan here. So this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. My current wipe progression. The B-roll I'm running in this wipe, I've gotten my Cuddy that I bought, and I also have a Gladius as well. And that's it. And I'm grinding shipping missions to get a Zeus. And then I'll use that to grind towards a larger ship and eventually work my way up to get all the PvP combat ships I want. And then my progression is pretty much done. That is the progression that I enjoy, right? How I like to interact with the verse. But there's a problem. One that's been there since the start. I don't meet anyone. It feels empty. Other than one Pyro encounter over Aberdeen, a Saber and Mantis versus my Cuddy, get shit on, I rock them. I didn't really run into anyone. So what I've been doing, let me walk you through my gameplay loop. First, I started with bounties to make some base cash, about 100,000, right? Then I moved towards running E10, Weevils, and Widow in my Cuddy until I had about 2 million UAC. It was actually really good for this, making about 130,000 per run. Not really worth it, right? You put a lot of cash up, you don't get a lot back. Then I switched to the interstellar shipping missions. I would just wanted to check out other missions too and see where they're gone. 4 cargo pickups in Stanton, one of them being Hawthorne occasionally, so that was pretty cool. Like, it's the only dangerous spot. And then a drop off in Pyro for 220,000 UEC, right? And the route had a backhaul too, which made it even cooler, right? First is a local hauling mission just like 20 kilometers away that nets. There's 2 of them. So it nets about 100,000 UAC. And then one pickup in Pyro, and you haul it to a drop off in Stanton, and then you rinse and repeat the whole thing. That I'm making about 400,000 UEC an hour. That's not bad. And you're in the verse, and it takes you all over the verse. Like, you see the sights. It's pretty. Look at this. This is cinematic. So cinematic. But it's lonely. And frankly, it's a missed opportunity. This is where socials come in, where they have to come in for the community of the verse. Now, I'm going to take a little tangent here into Arc Raiders. I want you to see my second run in. It was my first one, really. And what happened? Boom. First run out. Social interaction out the ass, right? We grouped up, we ran the mission together. I knew right then, emotionally, because intellectually everyone knew it was a banger, but emotionally, I knew this game was going to be a banger. How does this relate to Star Citizen? Well, it has the same problem, right? Though it can't have exactly the same solution. Arc has solved, for themselves at least, the problem of having different communities share the same space. And it's brilliant in its simplicity. If you're friendly, you get friendly cues. If you're sweaty, you get sweaty cues. Your own behavior chooses your cue. You control which community you're in. We already do this in Star Citizen, but it's all through orgs without zero support in game. And in some ways, I'm glad they haven't fully built out the socials yet, because I feel we can still have an influence on the outcome. Let's go back to my original story. I'm working for the Ling family and the Red Wing Hauler. I'm a contractor with both companies. This relationship should actively put me in their socials and grant me access to their data. Now, I'm going to green box this next section. What that means is I'm using a MacGuffin as a placeholder for the social feature. I'm calling it Verse X, and it's somewhere between Shopify and Twitter. So I'm working for the Red Wing and the Ling family. Based on my reputation with them, I have access to certain tools: kill on site lists, warning lists, intel on other contractors working the same mission as me. Now, all of this happens automatically. The sharing of data with the corporation and the sharing of data with me all happens in the background. So when I scan someone, or even just detect them, if they're also working for the company, we both have data on each other. Along with this comes the VoIP channels and the text channels that bring the community together. Now, everyone in Stanton working for these corporations is sharing data. The same is true for players working for the Headhunter. They have access to the same tools, the same data, but in reverse. Red Wing and Ling family pilots are instantly read to them because the corporation and the gangs are hostile to each other. Players, through their own choices and behaviors, become part of that community. They inherit these social obligations by their own actions, but in return, they gain community. They get to roll with the boys. They get to network with other people doing the same content. They form relationships that lead to who knows where. Star Citizen needs to embrace a simple principle. Your behaviors and choices define the communities you're part of, what opportunities you have, and how and where you'll contribute to the verse. That matters. The same spirit that drives Helldivers 2 and Arc Raiders is in the verse. And like every other citizen, I'm going to tell you how to do it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm going to paint a narrative. Here's the thing CIG needs to understand. Orgs should be the foundation of the social experience. Not global chat, not random matchmaking, orgs. Both player-created and NPC faction. Right now, global chat is a mess. It's a fire hose of noise. Trade spam, trolls, questions no being answers, and occasionally something useful buried in the chaos. It doesn't build community. It doesn't connect like-minded players. It's just there. And most people mute it. What if we replace it with something better? Imagine every org, player or NPC, has its own social feed. A living, breathing space where members share intel, post updates, organize ops, and build relationships. Think of it like a private social network tied to your reputation. Like a LinkedIn with public and private posts. When you're working for Red Wing haulers, you get access to their feed. You should see what other Red Wing contractors are doing, routes they are running, loads they are hauling, ops they are organizing. Based on your reputation, you're not just a solo pilot grinding missions. You're part of something bigger. Same goes for the CDF, for the Headhunters, for every faction in the verse. Each one has its own community, its own culture, its own way of doing things. And you become part of that community through your action, through the missions that you run and the reputation you build. Global chat doesn't go away entirely. It becomes more like a public square. It's basically almost Twitter. A place for general announcements, system-wide alerts, maybe trade postings. But the real conversation, the coordination, the community, that happens in org channels. And backing all this up, integrated VoIP. This is critical. Every org feed should have its voice channels. Persistent spaces where people can drop in, hang out, coordinate. When you accept a mission through an org, you're automatically connected to the relevant voice channel. No third-party Discord required. No what's your TeamSpeak bullshit. It just works. And Arc Raiders showed us that it works. Think about it. I'm running cargo for Red Wing. I accept a haul. I'm instantly connected to the Red Wing haulers channel. I can hear other pilots on the same route. We share some intel. We warn each other about pirates. We coordinate without ever having to manually set anything up. That's how you build community. Not through text spam in global chat, through actual human connection. Now here's where it gets interesting. The mission system should flow directly from these social networks. Right now, missions feel disconnected. You open your Mobiglass, you grab a job, and you head out alone. Maybe you see some other players doing the same thing, but there's no connection, no coordination, no sense that you're part of something larger. What if the missions were designed to bring people together, and the social system was the mechanism that made it happen? Let's say Red Wing haulers needs to move, 500,000 SU of cargo to the front lines. It's a war scenario, whatever, end game content. That's not a solo mission. That's a fleet operation. And the mission system will know that. So Red Wing posts the contract to their social feed. Every pilot with Red Wing reputation sees it. The contract shows how many ships are needed, what the payout is, when it's launching, etc. Pilots sign up directly through the feed, and when they do, they're automatically added to the ops voice channels and coordination tools, which should be robust. The mission just doesn't appear as a terminal somewhere. Like it's just on your Mobiglass as like a little timer. It appears where the community already is, in the Red Wing feed, where Red Wing pilots hang out, where they're already talking to each other. This is the funnel. The social system puts like-minded players in the same space. The mission system gives them something to do together, And the whole thing reinforces itself. The more you run Red Wing missions, the deeper you get into the Red Wing community, the more opportunities you see, the more connections you make. And here's the key. NPC orgs function identically to player orgs. There should be no difference. Red Wing Haulers is an NPC faction, but it has a social feed just like a player org. It has voice channels. It has a community of contractors, some NPCs, some players, all working together. When you build rep with Red Wing, you're not just unlocking better missions, you're joining a community. The Civilian Defense Force works the same way. Combat pilots building CDF rep see CDF contracts in their feed. They coordinate through CDF channels. They become part of the CDF community. And because NPC orgs have relationships with each other, the missions naturally interconnect. Red Wing needs cargo move, CDF gets an escort contract. Headhunters see an opportunity, right? It's all there. They're mobilizing their own channels, planning their own interception. Different communities, same space, organic conflict and cooperation, all driven by the social layer. This creates a flywheel. You do missions for an org, you build reputation. Reputation unlocks access. You see their social feeds, join their channels. Social access connects you. You meet other pilots doing the same content. Connections lead to coordination. You run bigger ops together. Bigger ops lead to deeper reputation. The cycle continues, rinse and repeat. The more you engage, the more connected you become. The more connected you become, the more opportunities you see. It's a self-reinforcing community growth. And it works for every playstyle. Haulers find other haulers. Combat pilot find wings. Miners find mining crews. Pirates find pirate fleets. You don't think Cutlet would love that? The system doesn't force you into content you don't want. And that's kind of a problem right now. It funnels you toward players who want to do the same thing you do. Let me paint a quick picture. I'm a Red Wing contractor, and I open my Mobiglass and check the Red Wing feed. I see Convoy Op launching in like 2 hours. There's 14 slots remaining. Intel about headhunter activity near the Pyro Jump Gate. A pilot I flew with last week posting about a profitable route. Voice channel showing 23 pilots online, 8 in the Stanton haulers. I joined the voice channel. People are talking about the convoy op. Someone's organizing crew. I mentioned I've got an M2 and it's fully crewed. They slot us right in. We've got an hour to grab our cargo and rally. Meanwhile, the CDF feed is showing an escort contract for the same convoy. Combat pilots are signing up. The Idris crew is coordinating on their own channel. Different org, same operation. Naturally connected through the mission system. This is what community looks like. Not random matchmaking, not global chat chaos. Organic connections built through shared purpose. The principle is simple. Social supports missions and missions support socials. They can't exist in isolation. They have to feed each other. The org feed gives players a home, a community to belong to. The mission system gives that community something to do together. The reputation system ties it all together, making sure you end up in the right place with the right people. It works for player orgs. It works for NPC factions. It scales from a 2-person delivery run to a 50-person fleet operation. Same bones, same principle, infinite flexibility. I don't want to open my Mobiglass and see a mission terminal. I want to see my community, the orgs that I work for, the pilots that I fly with, the operations happening right now that I can join. I want the verse to feel alive. Not because of NPC scripting, but because of real players doing real things in the same space I occupy. That's the dream. That's the first I want to be part of. Seeing the black citizens.